A trip to Princeton is not complete without a visit to the famous Princeton Cemetery, which is maintained by the Nassau Presbyterian Church. When you get inside, expect legible gravestones that date back to the year 1760. You'll see the gravestone of United States President Grover Cleveland, signer of the Declaration of Independence John Witherspoon, even Paul Tulane, the inventor of Tulane. A lot of people don't know Paul Tulane grew up here in Princeton. His daddy was a gentleman farmer. It was Paul that went down to New Orleans and expanded the family fortune by working in the spice business. In the 1850s, he returned back to Princeton with the equivalent of $5 million in his pocket. He tried to give it to the College of New Jersey and asked them to rename the college Tulane. Clearly, that didn't happen. Lots of folks in town will swear to you that after he was rejected by Princeton, he went back to his will, and he specifically stated he wanted his backside to face Princeton University as final word on the subject. It's actually not true. We looked at the will. In his will, he specifically stated he wanted his front side to face his mother's birth home. But we love the rumors in Princeton. They're sometimes better than the facts. Find the free map at the entrance of the cemetery, and it'll guide your way. You can actually see the gravestones of George Kennan, the inventor of the Cold War, is buried here. He steps away from George Gallup, the inventor of the Gallup poles. If you know Sylvia Beach, she's the famous publisher who published Ulysses, which was James Joyce's groundbreaking novel for modern literature. She was dear friends with F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, Ezra Pound, Gertrude Stein. John O'Hara is buried in this cemetery as well. If you keep walking, you can see the gravestone of Kurt Gödel, the inventor of gaming theory and Einstein's best friend, John von Neumann, the creator of the first computer. See if you can find the gravestone for the inventor of TV, Zworykin. Be sure to find the gravestone of Jimmy Johnson, who was a runaway slave on Princeton University campus. When Southern boys are going to recognize Jimmy, they'll alert his Southern master. When his master came back to Princeton to gather up Jimmy, the students hid him in the Nassau Inn and, along with other residents, raised his $550 ransom. After he was free, Jimmy continued to sell dried fruit and nuts to the students and actually raised enough money to pay them back for his ransom and left a small stipend to Princeton University as a thank you for his freedom. Now, just like every place in Princeton I've been, just when you start to feel like, gosh, I'm not smart enough to be buried here, and I'm certainly not tycoon enough, you'll realize that the town is extremely diverse. There's actually a gravestone inside this cemetery where a gentleman in town had put on his tombstone, "I told you I was sick." So I'll leave it to you to try and find his clever tombstone.